Social networking sites like Facebook depend on millions of people voluntarily providing accurate personal information. But in a world where identity theft is a growing concern, and spammers can't wait to get their hands on your email address, how do you take advantage of what Facebook has to offer while minimizing risks to your personal information? If you are connected to the internet, you should be concerned about your privacy. You have privacy risk when you surf on the web and use email. The sad truth is that there are a lot of sad bad guys out there, and your personal information is worth a lot of money to some of them. Even virus protection programs and firewalls can't always keep bad things from happening to you. And while Facebook promises to do all it can to protect the personal data you add to your profile, mistakes happen. If you are like most people, your personal information is already stored in lots of databases. For example, in your bank, in your favorite magazine's website, and so on. But what's unique about Facebook's catch of personal data is that it includes personal details that are tied to a picture of you, and that it tracks your activity online. It also links you to other people, all of whom have also provide lots of personal details. This combination of identifying details, an image, and a detailed map of your social habits is what makes Facebook so interesting and compelling, but also so potentially dangerous. Theoretically, someone could find out what town you live in, where you plan to be next Tuesday at 8 p.m. and that you are involved with a lot of charities. Scary, right? So, we need to know the way to balance the benefits you get from using Facebook with the risk of losing control of your private information. Some of the privacy threats associated with Facebook are the same that many online companies. Potentially, hackers may be able to access to Facebook members' personal data once they beat the security protection from Facebook. And, of course, any information you send via the internet is vulnerable to interception. But there are other Facebook-specific threats as well. First is related to third-party application developers and other Facebook partners. Before you can use a Facebook application, you have to grant the person or company who created it access to your personal data, as well as, in many cases, the personal data of all your friends. Once you grant that access, control of yours and your friends' personal information is out of Facebook's hands. If the application's creator misuses your information, the issue is between you and them. Likewise, Facebook's privacy policy lets the site share your personal details with companies who advertise or sell products on Facebook. And it's up to those firms to keep your data safe. The next one is related to people you didn't think had access to your profile. If you think only people who live in your city or work at your company can view your profile, you are mistaken. Hiring managers, parents, teachers, police officers, and other folks who are determined to view your Facebook profile can find a way to do so, either by asking a coworker or friend who happens to be a member of your Facebook network to look up your information. The last one is related to anyone using a search engine. Depending on your Facebook privacy settings, anybody can search your profile information using a search engine, such as Yahoo or Google. Even if the person is not a Facebook member. We know enough bad news. The good news is that just 3 simple strategies give you quite a bit of control over keeping your private data safe. First, don't put sensitive information on Facebook. You get to choose what kind of information you share with the site and how much. Data thieves can't steal your social security number, for example, if you don't make it available. Second, customize your privacy settings. If you keep your front door locked, it dramatically reduces the chance of being robbed. Similarly, on Facebook, customizing your privacy settings minimizes but doesn't eliminate the chance of your Facebook data falling into the wrong hands. Last, if the worst happens, fight back. If someone tracks you down on Facebook and starts bothering you, you can shut the person down by blocking the person's access to your Facebook profile or reporting the person to the site. So we need to be very careful on privacy settings on Facebook. How much to share when you create your Facebook profile is entirely up to you. But there are a few things to consider. Give Facebook only enough information to get what you want out of the site. If you are looking to connection with other early music fans, for example, limit your profile information related to the subjects. And if you plan to use Facebook to find parenting tips, you don't need to share your academic and professional background. Also, you need to consider keeping your public and private identities separate. If you are planning to use Facebook primarily for networking, think twice about positioning pictures of your wild weekend. You don't have to forgo mentions of your personal life completely. But you should limit your personal information to the kind of things you would feel comfortable tacking up on your cubicle wall. You need to think about creating an email address just for Facebook. Companies such as Google and Yahoo let you create a free web-based email address you can use to sign up for Facebook. Using an email address dedicated to Facebook protects your real work or home email address from accidental or deliberate theft. In addition, if it's sensitive and optional, leave it out. Random people viewing your profile don't need to know your home address or your phone number. If you meet people on Facebook and want to share this information with them, you can always do so in a more private way. For example, you can use Facebook private message. So, we need to be very careful on private settings on Facebook. Let's watch the video about the way to control your account wisely and the video about the way to change your privacy settings on Facebook. In this video, you will learn the way to control your account wisely. While you need to be careful of people getting access to your account information online, don't forget to take precautions in the real world as well. Make sure no one can log into Facebook as you. You already know not to share your password with anyone. But there are a couple more steps you should take to protect your account. To prevent coworkers, fellow students, or family members from using your computer to access your Facebook account, either by accident or design. Follow these steps. First, when you log into Facebook, log in the smart way. Let's connect to the Facebook main page. After you type your email address and Facebook password into the login page, make sure the Keep Me Logged In checkbox is turned off before you click the Login button. Let's type in the email address and password. Also, make sure the Keep Me Logged In checkbox is turned off. Then, click the Login button to go back to your Facebook page. You need to log out when you are finished using Facebook. Before you go on to the next item on your to-do list, take a second to click the Logout link found in the Account drop-down menu in the upper right corner of every Facebook screen. Doing so prevents people from getting into your account. Let's click on the setting link on the far right of the Facebook banner. And then click on Logout link. That's all to protect your access to the Facebook. In this video, you will learn the way to manage your privacy settings. Let's load the privacy settings on Facebook and see the details of the settings. First, click on the setting icon on the far right of Facebook banner. Then, click on Privacy Settings. Although Facebook states how strictly it protects its members' privacy, it may come as a surprise unless you change them. It's better to know and understand how Facebook's privacy settings work, where to find them, how to adjust them, and to actually spend time battening down the hatches. Let's see the details of the privacy settings. Click on the privacy link on the left of the screen. It loads the privacy settings and tools. In here, you can select an audience for stuff you share, manage settings for how you connect, and review stuff others tag you in. The first setting is related to who can see my stuff. In this category, the first one is about who can see my future posts. The default setting is to friends. You can click on Edit to change the setting. You will find an audience selector tool most places you share status updates, photos, and other stuff. Just click the tool and select who you want to share something with. The tool remembers the audience you shared with the last time you posted something and uses the same audience when you share again unless you change it. For example, if you choose public for a post, your next post will also be public unless you change the audience when you post. This one tool appears in multiple places, such as your privacy shortcuts and privacy settings. When you make a change to the audience selector tool in one place, the change updates the tool everywhere it appears. The audience selector also appears alongside things you've already shared. So, it's clear who can see each post. If you want to change the audience of a post after you've shared it, just click the audience selector and select a new audience. Remember, when you post to another person's timeline, that person controls what audience can view the post. Additionally, anyone who gets tagged in a post may see it, along with their friends. Click Close when you finish. In the drop-down menu earlier, you see Public, Friends, Only Me, and Custom. When you see Share Something with Public, that means anyone on the internet can see it. If you are comfortable making something you share open to anyone on the internet, you can choose Public from the audience selector before you post. Public includes people who are not your friends on Facebook, people who are not in your school or work networks, and anyone on the internet. The Friends option lets you post stuff to your friends on Facebook. If anyone else is tagged in a post, then the audience extends to also include the tagged person and their friends. If you don't want your photo or post to be visible to the friends of the people you tag, you can adjust this setting. The Only Me option allows you to post stuff to your timeline that is visible only to you. Posts with the audience of Only Me will appear in your news feed, but not your friends' news feeds. If you tag someone in an Only Me post, they will be able to see the post. When you choose Custom, you can selectively share something with specific people or hide it from specific people. You can also share with specific friend lists if you set them up, such as family or best friends. Or hide posts from your coworkers list. Custom also provides the option to share with groups or networks you belong to. The second item in the Who Can See My Stuff is review all your posts and things you're tagged in. If you follow the link, use Activity Log link. It loads your activity log. Let's click on the link. Your activity log is a list of your posts and activity from today back to very beginning. You will also see stories and photos you have been tagged in, as well as the connections you have made, like when you liked a page or added someone as a friend. You can control what goes on your Facebook timeline as well. You will see two drop-down menus next to each story in your activity log. The first lets you adjust the privacy of your posts, or it shows you the privacy setting if it's a story created by a friend, like when someone writes on your timeline or tags you in a post. The second drop-down menu controls the visibility of the story on your timeline and gives you the option to hide, allow, or start the story on your timeline. You also have the option to delete anything you post on Facebook. Keep in mind, posts you hide on your timeline are still visible elsewhere to the audience they are shared with on Facebook, including in search, newsfeed, and other places on Facebook. The last one in this category is limit the audience for posts you have shared with friends or public. If you use this tool, content on your timeline you have shared with friends or public will change to friends. Remember, people who are tagged and their friends may see those posts as well. You also have the option to individually change the audience of your posts. Just go to the post you want to change and choose a different audience. The next main category is who can look me up? Let's take a look at the first setting. Who can look you up using the email address or phone number you provided? You can set the audience to everyone, friends of friends, or friends. The next setting is, do you want other search engines to link to your timeline? People who aren't logged into Facebook can still see things you have shared with the audience set to public, as well as your public information such as your name, profile picture, cover photo, gender, and networks. You can click on Edit to deal with it. This controls whether a direct link to your timeline is returned in search results when people search for your name. Public information may still appear in search results. This includes things like stuff you share with the audience set to public, posts and comments on pages and open groups, and posts in the community forum section of the Help Center. When this setting is on, it is easier for other search engines to link to your timeline in search results. If you turned off this setting, it may take a while for search engines to stop showing the link to your timeline in their results. Next, you will learn the way to manage your timeline privacy settings. Let's load privacy settings. First, click on the setting icon on the far right of Facebook banner. Then, click on Privacy Settings. Next, click on the timeline and tagging on the left. On the right, you can see a list of settings related to timeline and tagging privacy. The first category is Who can add things to my timeline? By default, the one who can post on your timeline is your friends. You can click on Edit button to make a change. From the list, you can change it from friends to only me if you need a full control of your timeline. Click Close to move to the other settings. The item in this category is Review posts friends tag you in before they appear on your timeline. Timeline review controls whether you have to manually approve posts you are tagged in before they go on your timeline. Before photos, posts, and app activities that you are tagged in appear on your timeline, you can approve or dismiss them by turning on timeline review. Keep in mind, you can still be tagged, and the tagged content, for example, photo, post, is shared with the audience, the person who posted it, selected other places on Facebook, newsfeed, and search. When you have a post to review, just click Timeline Review on the left-hand side of your activity log. Remember, this only controls what's allowed on your timeline. Posts you are tagged in still appear in search, newsfeed, and other places on Facebook. The next category is about who can see things in my timeline. Here is an overview. Who can see what's on your timeline and tools you can use to control what you share on your timeline. You can share basic information like your hometown or birthday when you edit your timeline. Click Update Info under your cover photo. And then click Edit button next to the box you want to edit. Let's load the timeline. Click on your name on the upper right of the screen. Click on the Update Info. In the Relationships and Family on lower left, click on Edit of this section. On the right of each item, you can use the audience selector next to each piece of information to choose who can see that information. Anyone can see your public information, which includes your name, profile picture, cover photo, gender, username, user ID, and networks. Only you and your friends can post to your timeline. When you post something, you can control who sees it by using the audience selector. When other people post on your timeline, you can control who sees it by choosing the audience of the Who Can See What Others Post on your timeline setting. Let's go back to the timeline and tagging privacy settings. The first tool lets you see what your timeline looks like to the public or a specific friend. You can click on the View As link on the right to preview the public view on your timeline. You can also use the View As Specific Person link on the top to view your timeline as a specific friend. Once you click on the link, type in the name of your friend and choose the friend. Now is the view when your friends loading your timeline. You can also click on View as Public to move back to the public view. If you do not share to the public, you can see the difference. Keep in mind, posts and photos you have hidden on your timeline are still visible to the audience. They are shared with other places on Facebook, like in Newsfeed and Search. Let's go back to the privacy setting. Click on the setting on the far right of Facebook banner. Then click on Privacy Settings. On the left, click on Timeline and Tagging. The next item is who can see posts you have been tagged in on your timeline. You can use Edit to change it to everyone, friends of friends, friends, only me, and custom. The default setting is friends of friends. Similarly, the next item is for who can see what others post on your timeline. You can use the Edit to change it to everyone, friends of friends, friends, only me, and custom. The default setting is friends of friends. The final category is very similar to the ones we saw earlier. It includes the setting to the tagging. The first item is review tags people add you on post before the tags appear on Facebook. Turn on Tag Review to review tags friends add to your content before they appear on Facebook. When someone who you are not friends with adds a tag to one of your posts, you will always be asked to review it. Remember, when you approve a tag, the person tagged and their friends may be able to see your post. The next item is when you are tagged in a post. Who do you want to add to the audience if they aren't already in it? The options available are Friends, Only Me, and Custom. The default setting is Friends. The last item is Who Sees Tag Suggestions. When photos that look like you are uploaded. When a photo that looks like you is uploaded, Facebook will suggest you adding a tag of you. This helps save time when adding tags to photos, especially when labeling many photos from one event. Suggestions can always be ignored, and no one will be tagged automatically. You can choose Friends, which is the default setting, or No One.